What's good, everybody? The voice of the WGC back in the building. And you already know what time it is. It's UFC 5 time once again. Brought to you by Mike Straw of Insider Gaming. I will leave his info in the description. But let's go ahead and get into it. UFC 5 is supposedly releasing on October 27th, and it will be for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So for those of you on last gen, I'm sorry. UFC 5 will only be available on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And also for those wondering if there was going to be a PC version, I'm also sorry. No PC version. The cover will be graced by no other than Alexander Volkanovski, which we already knew for the most part, and Valentina Shevchenko, which kind of got me scratching my head because isn't she coming off a loss to Alexa Grasso, and she probably could lose to her again? But don't get me wrong, she's my favorite active women's fighter right now. Right now, as we speak, I love her. I love Manon Fiorot. Like there's plenty I love. I love Zhang Weili. Like there's plenty I love. But right now, as we speak, Shevchenko is my favorite. But it's eh, kind of a weird decision, don't you think, EA? But I see why they did it. They went for more of a UFC 2 approach. You remember when they had Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor on the cover? But I was expecting maybe like a Volkanovski and a Charles Oliveira. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a Volkanovski and a Islam Makhachev. Maybe a Volkanovski and a Sean O'Malley. That is what I was expecting. But hey, it is what it is. But what's really even more shocking is Adesanya's on the deluxe. Wasn't Adesanya just on UFC 4? This was a great opportunity to get a legend on the cover. Not, I mean, don't get me wrong, Izzy is still a legend, but I'm talking about somebody who's retired from the sport. Somebody who we consider like one of the greatest of all time. That's not fighting right now. And this spot could have been used by no other than GSP, George St. Pierre, one of the GOATs who has not graced the cover of UFC yet. John Jones has a cover. Conor McGregor has two covers. Adesanya has a cover. Anderson Silva has a cover. It seems like everybody has a cover except GSP. GSP and Khabib don't have a cover. So, eh. But what can you do? What can you do? It's just a cover at the end of the day. Now, what about the mature rating? UFC 5 was moving from a T for teen rating to a mature rating. The reason sources say is that it allowed developers to add more realistic aspects of damage as well as render damage in greater detail. The game will also feature blood pooling on the canvas, which also played a part in the rating moving to M. So basically, if you played AW Fight Forever, you know how the ring is constantly flooded with blood when you're in those hardcore matches. Sucks the blood fades away, but you get what I'm saying. The blood is dripping on the mat. We're going to be getting this same thing on UFC 5. But my question is, will the blood stay on the canvas or will it disappear? Because I hope it stays on the canvas with this mature rating. I hope it does. And it looks like we're getting a new damage system in general. Like they're overhauling the damage system. That's what it looks like. Well, that's what it sounds like, excuse me. And last but not least, who's in UFC 5? We're going to be talking about the pre-order bonuses. We're going to be getting, sources say, Mike Tyson, who has not been featured in a UFC game since UFC 2. We're going to be getting Muhammad Ali. I am the greatest. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Rest in peace, Ali. And last but not least, Fedor Emelianenko, which is absolutely crazy. And while I don't want to get my hopes up, getting Fedor back in the game just gives me a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit of hope. Because EA, you're not going to be done with this, right? You're not going to be done with this, right? There's absolutely no way you re-added Fedor to UFC games and you didn't re-add Pride Mode, right? If you don't know what Pride Mode is, it's basically the craziest shit you will ever witness. It's basically UFC on steroids with no rules. It was absolutely batshit crazy, and I loved every minute of it. I miss those days, man. And this was something great that we had in UFC games that was stripped from us. But I hope with the addition of Fedor Emelianenko, I hope it's back. But I'm not gonna get my hopes up. But nonetheless, those are great Twitter bonuses if this is true. But anyways, how do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel? What are your thoughts? Who would you have? Who would you rather have as a pre bonus? What do you want from UFC 5? Let me know in the comments. With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Roll to 1K. We out here. One love. God bless. See you in the next one. Peace.